Right guys, now this one, a bit of different content here. This one, firstly, I like to say rest in peace, Dave Courtney. I never got a chance to say that. I knew Dave from the EBF days. James Ward, who owns EBF. I boxed under James Ward on the unlicensed EBF shows. I think I've had 18 fights under EBF, I believe. Undefeated. I won unlicensed champion of the UK, and I've won EBF champion. Yeah, in general. So, and Dave was always at the shows, no matter what. The big shows, that is. Met him on multiple occasions. The South End and the East End, London old school boys. I had a double vodka and Red Bull with Dave once. Up at Keepmoat Stadium in Doncaster, at Doncaster Rovers ground. I boxed on that show against a fella from York called Adam. The fight videos in the shorts on my channel now, and I seen him at the Barnsley Metrodome before and had a laugh and a joke with him. Quite a character, proper old school East End man. They don't make him like no more. Like obviously, you had the Crays, you had the Richardsons, you had the Adamses, obviously Mad Frank Fraser, all the boys. Yeah, old school legends. You'll never get that era back. And to be quite truthful with you, the Crays would be spinning in the graves right now to see how much London's gone. Because, let's face it, yeah, London has been completely, carefully, but I'd say London's definitely gone. You know what I mean? It's been destroyed. It's had mass immigration filtered into it. And whether we like it or not, there is, well, especially down Bethnal Green and all that, what used to be the old school East End areas. I've been down them areas. There is hardly no English left, and that is a fact. You know what I mean? A pure fact. And yeah, and obviously I'm no racist shape or form ever. I've got black friends, I've got Asian friends, Chinese friends. I'm just stating absolute facts. I believe there were 750,000 migrants that were let into this country last year. Just alone. We're only a tiny island. Everyone wants to miss all the other countries and just pile into us, because a lot of times, guys, let's face it, they just want to exploit our benefit system. And I'm telling you now, do you know when you're in prison? In most jails where I've been now, even like Lincoln should just be an old-fashioned English jail. But I'm telling you now, only 10-15% of normal English boys on that wing where I was. All the rest was Albanian, Romanian, Polish, Lithuanian, every nationality you can think of. Even the floods of Vietnamese, where they're coming over here to exploit the growing, and brought over here to go into cannabis houses and what have you. Yeah, it's absolutely mental. And obviously I wouldn't wish persecution on anyone, and what have you. But for a tiny island, we're full. You know what I mean? I don't see how any more spaces. You've got war veterans begging on the streets, literally begging on the streets. I've seen a video in Doncaster a bit ago, outside Dagenham Hotel, an old war veteran suffering from PTSD. And what happened is he's laid outside the Dagenham Hotel begging. And if anyone from Doncaster's on here can back me up and seen the same video, you know I'm chatting 100% gospel truth. So then obviously this old man there, this old war veteran, he's got his army jacket, his army clothes on, all the camouflage gear. And it was at the time, I believe, where we took a mass 20,000 Afghans who were fleeing persecution from the Taliban. We all seen the video evacuation where they was holding onto the planes in pure desperation. God bless them, yeah, because obviously they're going to get killed or very severely punished by the Taliban for even speaking to anyone in the West, like from UK, America, when US troops were stationed there for 10 years. And as soon as US troops pulled out of Kabul and pulled out of Afghanistan, look what happened. Within 5 days, 5 days, the Afghan army fell and the Taliban took over. You know what I mean? These people, there's millions of them. You're dealing with radical extremism. You know what I mean? These people believe in dying in death. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to the point. So anyway, this old bloke's laid outside, and Red Cross comes, and first aid foods, and these big pallets and pallets and pallets full of food. What was going into the Dana Motel. Now, no one could get a space in the Dana Motel in Doncaster because it was a known fact, obviously, due to these 20,000 Afghans what they took on the scheme. All the hotels in Doncaster were full at the time with Afghanistan, especially the Dana one. I never seen no women. I never seen no children. I never seen no elderly. Every single man was my age, a little bit and younger, and a little bit older, probably in the 40s, all young, fighting fit men. It was all given iPhones, and it was all giving pallets of food every day. Now, while they was getting handed the pallets of food, I wasn't there. I watched the video, and I seen it all, and I know the man who he is. Because when I see the man outside KFC begging with his cup all the time, I'm always the first one to put a fiver in or a tenner in his cup to make sure the man has something to eat. He's got obviously mental health problems. I think he's seen a lot of his members in the army get murdered when he was fighting for our country. So while he's there and they're giving all the pallets of the food, the old man turned around and said, "Please, can I have some starving? I've not ate nothing for all day." He says, "Please, I'm really hungry." And the old Red Cross, yeah, and the old charity services, watched with my own eyes, blanked him, smiled, and passed it to these young, healthy, big, fresh men like myself. I just thought, what's going on in this world here? You know what I mean? We don't take care of our household before you can take care of anyone else's household. You know what I'm saying? There's people, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've done it myself. There's lads coming out of prison with serious mental health problems, and women. They can't get no houses. Nah. Do you know what they do? If you're lucky, and this is if you're very lucky, they put them on an house action plan program. Now, when they put them on these action house program, what's the one called? The main program for the housing thing from prison. NACROs, that's it. When they put them on these NACROs programs, yeah. What they don't tell you, you're going into hellholes. So when they put you in these shared houses and they say, and you got your probation working with the housing association, saying, "Oh, you got to stay away from crime," yeah. Everyone knows in poverty areas you're always going to breed crime. When they put you into these areas, these rundown places, without fail, and I have been in every single one of these hellholes in Doncaster, Sheffield, Rotherham, Barnsley. I've done it all before in my younger days when I was 17, 18 year old. I've witnessed it with my first eyes. You're surrounded by nonces. If you don't, please believe me, that's where they put them. You're surrounded by nonces. You're surrounded by vicious murderers who's been let out. Obviously, everyone deserves a second chance. Obviously, rapists, prostitution, and a lot of times drug dealers. The rundown places, the crap, the rubbish, and no one gets a start. But they have to go in them places. And now the minimum requirement is to stay in there for 89 days before you even thought about getting help to get a grant for any private rented houses or the next stage. So in 90 days, yeah, you're living in, when I tell you a hellhole, you know what I mean? And let's face it, a lot of times council's not bothered. You know what I mean? You've got shared houses here for probation, for ex-cons. They're not bothered. In the eyes of everyone else, you're scum. You just come out of jail. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so they're not bothered whatsoever. So really, you're out there fending for yourself, as obviously usual, as a man should do. But yeah, and like it's a lot of controversy when they mention Tommy Robinson's name. I know Tommy. I've talked to Tommy a few times. Obviously, and guys, listen. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, I tell you straight as it is. Tommy is not a racist. Tommy Robinson is far from a racist. My pal Andrew Ross, bare knuckle fighter, BKB, look him up on the YouTube, yeah? I was the one what got Andy Ross into BKB. He's lost, call him Andy the Bomber Ross, yeah? He lives in Skegness now. Right, he started off in the Spartans fighting in the A-Bales when I first started years ago, when my amateur BKB days, yeah? He is a personal bodyguard to Tommy. I was there when Tommy gave him a Range Rover Sport for being a loyal guy and supporting him all the way and looking after him. They was very good friends. So I spoke to Tommy a few times on the phone, and the guy is a highly intelligent fella, and he obviously is very good with his words. I mean, he can put his words together, and he's very good with it. Now, Tommy has got a lot of black friends. He's got a lot of Asian friends, not from this country, from out of the country in different areas. Yeah, so not British born blacks, not British born Asians, not British born whatever. Different actual people coming over. Tommy's friends with him. He's polite and courteous. He won't ever see anyone going without or getting penalised. But Tommy's problem, obviously, which we all have to back him up, was the people that's coming over and raping young girls, was practicing Sharia law on innocent women and raping them. And obviously, you know what I mean, who can argue with that? Like, you know what I mean? Because I can't argue with that. You've got to fully support that. You know what I mean? We're living in a world where you can't support that now. Just like when I watched that pro-Palestinian rally. Yeah, you've got 30,000 screaming Hamas, Hamas, Hamas. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, no arrests, very few, tens of thousands. Tommy Robinson walks down the street with the Jewish protest, peaceful protest, and all hell broke loose over one man. So what's the problem? Hundreds of thousands of people marching right in the streets of London, screaming Hamas, Hamas, death to UK, death to America, feeding them benefits of our system, yeah, while they're holding fucking ISIS flags up, running around screaming death chants. You know what I mean? Come on, London has fallen. London's gone, whether you like it or not. There is no more Sunday dinners in London. You know what I mean? Everyone's on madrasas. You know what I mean? On a Sunday, and that's as simple as that. And that's not being racist. I'm telling you straight as it is. But in the Craze area, that did not happen. And do I tell you one thing as well? The Craze didn't put up. The Craze, Dave Courtney, and all the old school East Ends, Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw. You think there'd all be all these wrongers now knocking about in London if them boys were still about? Nah. These guys put paedophiles to bed. They put wrong'uns to bed. Yeah. Same as like another good fella, Kevin Lane. Yeah. He's just been recalled over a lot of shit. His first big jail sentence, what he got, he never even actually committed it. You know what I mean? Saying a contract killer. And he even tells you, and everyone even tells you. I've spoke to lads when I've been in the jail system when they've come from the South End. I've mentioned them and they say about Kevin, they say his old school is one of the boys. And now he's been fully recalled. Yeah, I've got 100% respect for Kevin Lane. He's not even done nothing. So another big shout out here. Free Kevin Lane. Free Kevin Lane. You know what I'm saying? You can recall people like that over any hearsay with no actual proof. But you can push Winston Churchill's statue over in the middle of London and do what you want and no one will batter an eyelid. Yeah? You look around the courts in the papers, paedophile suspended sentence, paedophile suspended sentence. That's all you get. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you see someone importing some drugs 30 years. You know what I mean? There's an old story, people ask for drugs. No one has to get raped. Remember that. That's a true saying. But that's the world we're living in. But I just wanted to give the big shout out there. Rest in peace, Dave Courtney. And two big shout outs going out right here now. Free Kevin Lane. And up Tommy Robinson. Yeah, get behind Tommy. Hit the like if you're with it. You know what I mean? Let's make Great Britain great again. That's what I say. Let's go.